What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be showing you how to make your own throttle cable, because sometimes when you've done things like handlebar conversions, your throttle is now quite a bit further away than it was originally seated. Normally it's about here, it's now much further down, and you're probably going to need a longer cable, but you just can't find one for your bike. So I'm going to show you how to make your own cable to any size. Let's get into it. Now I've got cables upon cables right now. We've got this little cable right here. I don't know when I bought this. I think I bought this with this other one right here. We've got this one that I bought last year that I forgot I even had, and another one which is probably the exact same. Nope, they're slightly different. The numbers are different on them, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I can see that with this one there's like a thick section right here, but we're probably not going to be using these, and being honest with you, we're just going to be using the cable itself. And I've got this one which is much longer than what's on my bike currently, hopefully. So I'm going to show you guys how to shorten this cable down and make it so that it fits your bike. So let's do a little comparison. We'll take this one for example. I'm going to open this package right now, even though I don't really need it. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't need this. Someone's cooking something because it smells like food again. It also smells a bit like dog food. So let's take a look at this. This will run from the splitter, which is basically you have one single cable that runs from your throttle all the way down into the plastics, and then it splits off into two cables. So that's what I mean when I say the splitter. And the two cables, one runs to your carburetor, and the other one, if you've still got an oil pump, runs to your oil pump. So that way you're opening the throttle and you're opening the slide inside the carb, but you're also opening the oil pump and allowing more oil to pass in. So what we're going to do, we're going to compare this right here to this other cable that I bought, which is hopefully a lot longer. It should be a lot longer. Nice and smooth and fresh, no damage. That's definitely another good thing as well, guys. Check for damage on the cables before you install them. You don't want any damaged cables. And as you can see, wow, that is like twice as long. Let's fold it and see. So it's like the length of a standard cable and a half. So we're going to use this today, which is going to be nice and long, and we're not going to be using this today. I just bought this really for the sleeve, but I'm not going to be using the sleeve either, because as you can see here, I've already wrapped this sleeve up in gold, and I intend to just keep that gold so I don't have to wrap it all back up again and make it look nice. And if you saw my recent video, I'll bring you over for this actually and just show you again. But basically, now it might be a little bit dark, you might not be able to see this. If you look in there, oh, it's not too dark. Hopefully you guys can see that. Right in there, up top, we've got a little rubber boot that's starting to split, and another rubber boot underneath, which is hopefully in good condition, but it doesn't matter because we're going to change it. But basically, this cable, as you can see right here, it's bending almost 90 degrees in a really uncomfortable way because I don't have one of these fitted. So this one right here, this piece, which goes on top of your carburetor, allows the cable to have somewhere to guide itself through, so it's not just bending on itself like it is in there. But this one is 45 degrees and this one's 90 degrees, so we're going to try and use the 90-degree elbow today. The reason that I've not used these is because when I tried to use one of these on the carb originally, the cable was just way too short and it just wouldn't reach the throttle anymore, the throttle lever. So we're going to try and install this today with the longer cable, and we'll see how we get on. We're going to get these plastics off so we can see where the cable goes to. It should be somewhere under here. There should be a splitter. We're also going to remove this temp gauge today because I just don't use it. It's just not really necessary for my bike. I hate taking the plastics off. It's always a pain in the ass. But this is definitely a good video to know, because I couldn't find a lot of information about how to actually make your own throttle cable online. Now this should just lift out. Yeah! Alright, good. And I'm just going to throw that in the bin later on. I don't want it. You can see the splitter down there. This is not what I was expecting at all. I'm guessing that just pops out of there so that you can actually work on it. I'm going to use a screwdriver just to push that through. Okay, so we're just going to try and push that through there like that. There we go. And that's the splitter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the throttle at the top in a second. I've got to turn my mic on like an idiot. So we're just going to undo this right here, take this piece apart, and then we can get that bit out up there. We're having fun today. The weather's not too bad, it's a bit cold. It's going to get better. So I'm just going to undo this. Yours will look different than this because you might not have a quick throttle. I've installed this Volca quick throttle, which is what you're looking at now. I'm just undoing the screw and taking this whole piece out. There's a few. As you can see right there, this is my throttle cable running through my throttle lever, and you can see as I open the throttle it goes up, and I don't know if you can see that, but there is a little bit of damage right there, because if you watch one of my other videos when I installed this Volca quick throttle, you'll see that I had to cut something off, and I think I've nicked right there, just nicked the cable and caused it to fray, which is dangerous, guys. So if you've got any damaged cables, you do want to change them. There we go. It's got a bearing inside of it, and now we just want to pull that cable out like that, and I'm going to snip this off right here, guys, because we're going to be basically replacing this piece. This is how you make your own cable. I'll show you in a minute, but basically the cable's going to be much longer, and I've got one of these that you just clamp onto the end. You just screw it on and it bites onto the cable, and that's how you can make your own length. Yeah, we're definitely getting some metal shavings in there. But yeah, I'm going to cut that off with my pliers right now, so there's no going back. If this doesn't work, I am screwed. Maybe I won't cut it off just yet. It's here, free and clear, and we're going to just drag it out of this bit right here, get it around there, pull it down and through. Perfect. So now what we've got is the cable running down to here and into this splitter, and I'm going to just pull it through there as well, just so I can get it on top of the bike instead of underneath this metal frame right here, and I can see what I'm working with. Here we go, this is the splitter that people have asked me about. They wanted to know what it was. They were like, oh, someone said recently, you know, there's a splitter on my bike, I need to change my cable, not really sure what I'm doing. I was like, yeah, no problem, I'll take a look and we'll do a video on it. So this is us doing a video on it. I'm just going to try and open this up. I'm guessing the splitter is inside here. Yep, that's kind of what I was expecting. Kind of. Oh my god, I feel like I'm butchering this. But there you go, guys, you can see inside there, there's that gold thing in there. I don't know if you can see that. Gold thing in there. How does this work? This is tricky because we've got this little silver sleeve inside there, you see that, which is what this cable's locking into, and we want to replace just this cable. We might have to disconnect it from the oil pump, which means I've got to take the CVT casing off. So we've got the casing off now. There it goes. Just leave that down there, and in here is where my oil pump is. This is my oil pump. It's looking a bit dirty in there, and this is the cable right here for the oil pump, so I'm going to just bring it back here like this, and now it's loose. So that cable's super loose, and this cable is not so loose. I can take this little hatch, this lid, out from inside the seat, which gives me access inside here to the carburetor. And now, as you can see, we've got all this coming out of the carburetor, and you guys should definitely be able to see that because this camera is miraculous in how it works. But yeah, we're going to try and get a little 90-degree elbow on here today. Here comes this piece. You can see right here it's coming out. It doesn't want to, but it's coming, and that gives me just enough freedom to get this cable out of this piece. But yeah, we got it. We got this out. Perfect. And now we just need to get this cable out of here. Now I'm going to cut this cable now. Here you can see that damage right there. Hopefully that's dangerous, because if it was further down and it got inside the sleeve, it can block up, it unwinds and get wider inside this tube, and then your throttle gets stuck open and then you crash. I do have a Dremel I could use. Oh, there it goes. Jesus Christ, that pinged across the garden. That's now out, so this should, from this side, just slide right out. Now we can pull this out and replace it. There we go, we got it. So we're going to feed this back into here, into the splitter, and just send it down. It should go nice and smoothly, and then we're going to see it pop out the other side. You guys probably won't see that, but there you go. It's going to be so long, this is going to be way too long, and that's what we want. There it goes. Oh my god, the amount of length we're going to have on this. But we're going to chop it down, so don't worry. Now I'm going to have to take all of this apart as well. It's not hard, don't worry. It's just a bit of a pain. So you can see I'm just taking this out of here. I've just moved the spring up, took that out. There's the needle. I pushed up with my finger. We're going to take that needle as well. And then we're just going to put these parts somewhere safe, and I'm going to have to clean all this as well at the end. We're going to stick them up here with the oil. We'll clean all these before we put them back in the bike. To get that cable, see there, what I'm doing is I'm just pushing the cable up and out of that one hole into the other hole, which allows me to bring this slide piece out. There we go. I feel like I'm just dumping rubbish all over the place. Pause. I'm just going to tidy up. I don't like working in messy conditions. We just have to thread this into here. It's pretty easy. There we go. She's going. She's going. I feel like that cable needs to be longer too, and I can't extend that cable. That's the problem I'm going to have today. I can only extend the main throttle cable, not that other one. This is really, really hard. It's like, again, I feel like this cable is just not long enough. What have I got myself into? We'll see if this is achievable. If it's not, then worst case scenario, we're still extending the cable up top. We're just not going to be able to get this piece on, which I really want to get on. But this cable now is nice and long, which I can put in, which runs from the splitter to the throttle lever. That's fine, that's not an issue. And the reason that this works is because we have this style end on here, which slots into either your carburetor or into this piece right here. That's fine, that all works. And then this side, I'll be putting a little grub screw thing on the end of it, which allows it to seat into the throttle lever, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like. The cable basically slots into there like that. Imagine that the cable's gone into there. You guys can see that. And obviously then there's a screw in the side there, a little hex screw. You wind it off, put this cable in, tighten this and clamp this piece against the cable, which this slots into your throttle lever, and everything works fine. They don't do anything like this though, in this form, really, really small. So my issue that I'm running into now is that, yes, the cable from the splitter to the throttle is fine. From the splitter to the throttle lever, cable's fine. But from the splitter to the actual carburetor itself up in here, it's too short and you can't extend it because it's got these type of ends on it on both sides. So I can't extend that cable. Maybe it'll work, maybe it is long enough, maybe I just had it under an awkward tension, a bit of a weird tension, and I didn't realise. Just all I've been doing then, which you guys didn't see, you didn't miss anything really, but untwisting these cables because they were twisted around each other, and we're just going to pull this back through here because it holds this splitter in place. And I'm guessing that is actually an important thing, that we need the splitter to be held in place, otherwise if it's not held and you try and open the throttle, it's just going to pull along back and forth and not actually slide the cables inside. It's going to slide the outer cables, not the inner cables. Basically, what we've figured out is that from the splitter to the throttle lever, so from the splitter to the throttle lever, that single cable, we've definitely made that longer. That's perfect, look at that. Very, very, like it needs to go to there. Like to there, and it's like so much longer now, which is great because we can chop that down and we can make that work. We can make that work. But from the splitter to the carburetor, the cable may be too short to run a 90-degree elbow. To give myself a bit more length right here, what we're going to do is we're going to have to shorten this bit down right here, which screws into this piece, and we're going to shorten this down, and we're going to shorten this down a little bit, try and make them equal, because this threads into here and it should just give me a little bit more length. This is going to go right in my eyes. Should wear my safety goggles. We're going to have safety squints. It's already getting me in the eye and I barely even started. Okay, so we've cut that down. That's quite a lot of cable length right there, guys. That's quite a lot of cable length. So this could work. This might work. Okay, that works. But this slack, I don't know if you guys can see, watch where my fingers are. Bring you right in. There's some slack right there, watch this. And nothing's happening. That could very well just be the oil pump opening up. So I'm going to take the CVT casing back off and just investigate and see if that's what that is, because that could be that. I was right. I'd already checked, but I was right. So I've got this cable right here, and like I say, we've got a slack bit, so from there to there, you can see now, that's all oil cable and no throttle. Have a look at that right there. So we need to take that slack out, because otherwise we're just getting all oil and absolutely no throttle. Okay, so the issue that I'm having now is that I've made this cable too long. I have no idea how. I mean, obviously I chopped this down, but I didn't think it would have that much of an effect because it was just way too short, and now it's way too long, like by that much. Use the 45 degree for now, because chopping it made it too short, which is crazy because I thought it was just way too long, and that the cable, when I tested it, the cable was just, it had no room on it, it was too tight. But yeah, clearly that's what's going on, so we've got to try and fix that now. Ultimately, I've ended up running the 45 degree elbow because I didn't need to chop the 90 degree elbow down. That was a mistake on my part. But if you look now inside the carb at the slide, that cylindrical shiny chrome piece there, and you look here, when I pull on this cable, here we go. I'm going to watch this with you guys. 3, 2, 1. As I pull, they're almost, you can see there the oil pump, see that? The oil pump's just moving a tiny bit more, which is fine. Maybe that's necessary. And then they move together. First, but the final thing is going to be just putting this bit in and showing you guys how you obviously make this the right length, because at the moment that's way too long. But I'll show you how to do that. That's the easy part. That's what the video was supposed to be about. I just needed to change that elbow at the same time, and the video ended up becoming about that, sort of. But don't worry, we'll get back into this final bit. Okay guys, little update. Plastics are back on, and all that's left to do now is make this cable fit the bike. So all I've done is just threaded this piece right here back in with the cable in it, and as you can see, the cable's coming out there. Right now, this position on here, this position, so it's all the way tight. If you start to back it off, this will basically tighten the cable, so all the way in is as loose as the cable can go. Here, this little piece is what's going to go onto the end of the cable, and you tighten this screw that way, and it'll clamp down on top of that cable. So we'll do that now. Oh, water right in my ear hole. That is grim. Leave it as it is for now, and then we'll take more off if we need to. Right, there she goes. Yeah, that's how you make your own cable, basically, to the size you want. But yeah, I'm just tightening the grub screw onto this, and there's a little screwdriver cut out on the other side. You want this to be nice and tight, you do not want this coming loose. Alright, here we go. Oh yeah, that looks plenty slack. Plenty slack. Oh, that's way too much slack. Yeah, I'm going to just shorten that cable a little bit more because we do not need anywhere near that much adjustment. But that was the right thing to do, you know, make sure it's too long rather than too short, because at least now we can shorten it some more. So we'll do that with the Dremel. A little bit. That's, oh, dripped right in the eye, man. It's not my day today. That feels pretty good, honestly, but I don't want that hanging out that much. So again, I know this is a bit tedious, I'm going to chop it a bit more. That's quite a lot we're taking off, but that's good. It's fine. Right in the eyeball. You get that in first, and then we'll put the cog on, see if it works. And then stick this in there. Perfect. Oh yeah, that's much better. Oh, that's good. I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. So what I'm going to do is put this piece back on, and then we can adjust it if we need to. That is like perfect right there. That is perfect. Make sure it's tight and give it a test. Yeah, it's slack right there. But I'm not asked about that. We're going to start the bike first, and then we'll adjust the slack. But yeah, we got there in the end, guys. And she's alive. I might just adjust this a little bit. Like that. Yeah, that's perfect. Guys, if you enjoy the content, as always, like and follow, hit that subscribe button, all that stuff. I've got a lot more interesting videos coming up soon, guys. We're going to test contra springs, and I'm going to show you how to actually measure the contra spring force the easiest way possible with things you've got at home, just to see what your contra springs are like compared to one another. If, let's say you've got a black and a blue contra spring and you have no idea where you bought them from or whatever, because even if you go on the website is really confusing where you buy some contra springs from, because one contra spring will be measured in kilograms, the other one's going to be measured in percentages. It's ridiculous. It's like, how are you supposed to know how they compare to each other? So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's pretty easy, actually, the way I figured out how to do that last night. It's not a scientific method, it's not dead accurate, but it's pretty good, pretty close, and you can definitely tell them apart that way. So we're going to test contra springs, and then we're going to test the belts, because I was supposed to do a belt testing video. I also need to do a video showing you guys how to adjust carburetors, which is going to come up very soon. But that's it for this one. So yeah, like, follow, hit that subscribe button, go and subscribe on YouTube if you haven't done already, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. See you later.